All right, guys, since I don't have a real press at my disposal, I actually brought my logging chains, but they're a little long, and we had these other ones, so they're a little shorter, which turned out pretty good. We're gonna say, here's the setup. Yeah, it's kind of sketchy. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna heat this with the torch. And hopefully I can get this to bend nice and bend nice. Trying to keep this straight so that don't, I know it's gonna be probably bent a little bit, but hopefully it won't be too bad. So I'm gonna get the torch out. I'm gonna do that. Maybe I'll record it for you guys to see how it works. All right, so let's see what happens. Let me get the torch out running. All right, so try not to use the whole thing. All right, guys, I am working on one of the hardest parts here. Okay, I tried bending the light bar with the heat and the press, and that didn't work, guys. It didn't work at all. That was a complete fail. So now what I'm left with is trying to do pie cuts. And I don't have a machine that's good enough, really. What you need is a good bandsaw that you can set that up in. So what I'm doing is using my chop saw, which is a huge mess. This is my first time ever trying doing pie cuts, so here's some of my pies. What I didn't do is I didn't label my straight ends, so now I'm kind of guessing which ones are straight ones. So guys, label your pieces. So here we go, like this, you know, so that's what's going to be, is to make my turn. Okay, guys, and then it's going to look like kind of like that for my 45. I guess it's like a 45. they're not perfectly lined up yet, but so that will make my little bend in my pipe. Now, guys, I had 10 feet of this pipe. Now I'm down to like 3 feet. I have screwed around, screwed up, because I'm not used to doing this. Flip-flopping the pieces. If you don't flip-flop them right, then you screw the piece up. Then you make a lot of this. You make a lot of these. Got them all over the place, guys. And so right now, I don't know if I can get any more of this pipe yet. So I'm gonna just try to make. I'm just gonna try to make my pies, my bends, and hopefully I can pick up some more pipe to do my straights. So that's where we're at, because I'm not. This piece is not going to be long enough for me to make my light bar. You know, I spent $40 on that piece that was 10 feet long. Now I'm down to 3 feet. It's a lot of screwing around making. You know, this is what happened. I bent this all up. It's not a great bend. It wasn't good. So, you know, like here even, you could see that it wasn't bent good at all. So I figured I'd cut it and see if I could bend it, make it look decent, and it didn't look like anything. So that's where we are, guys. If you guys are gonna do pie cuts on something, make sure you get enough stock, because you're gonna screw it up because of flip-flopping, trying to keep the angle. One piece you know, because either you're going to do 9 degrees or 4.5 degrees, and then I got confused and I put it back to 4.5, and then I cut the piece and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be 9 degrees, and I screwed it up. So guys, make sure if you're going to do some pie cutting, make sure you get some extra stock, because you're going to screw some up. Well, that definitely shows I'm not perfect anyways. I made a lot of scrap here. So I can see why these guys make a lot of money doing pie cuts. Those guys that do all that fancy exhaust work, and that stuff is expensive, because you really got to keep your wits, you know. Well, it would probably help if I had the right equipment, and I don't have the right equipment for doing this. And it would probably work out a lot better if I had a bandsaw that I could just set it up and go to town with it. So guys, that's where we're at. I'm gonna start making. I got my other pieces over here. My middle pieces I got cut. So now I just gotta make the ends. So this is 9 good. Another piece of scrap. So I got a ton of scrap, and you don't want to be in that shoes. You want to get this down right, not waste a bunch of material. No, material costs money. Had to get a new cutting wheel. Once I got down to this, you know, it's supposed to be a 14-inch wheel that drops it down to like 10 inches. It doesn't cut very good when you lose that 2-inch diameter out the outside. It just slows down and doesn't cut well. So that was another problem I was having. And it's probably another reason why I made some scrap, because I was deflecting. I had enough speed to get the cut. So guys, yeah, this is not an easy task here. So, all right guys, I'll show you some of it when I get it welded together. That's next. I'm gonna just tack this thing up. I'm gonna try to get it so I don't have it clocked wrong. That's the next thing, is making sure you got your pieces in the perfect clocking. So when you cut it, you know, you're not gonna cut. Oh, I wish I could talk. Clocked wrong, you know, because if you that's one thing great about when you do pie cuts, because you could just about do anything, you know. You could just angle it whatever way you need to get around something. I mean, it's awesome, but it is time consuming, and you gotta keep your wits, man. I was getting to where I was just gonna give up, you know, but I got back on the old horse after I screwed up quite a bit and getting frustrated, you know, trying to get all the links here and stuff together. It's just, it is really, really something. So if you guys have never tried it, if you want a challenge, do some pie cuts. And that will be a challenge, man. Yep, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, I'm starting to put it together, the light bar. So here are my pie cuts. I got them all cut up and welded up. So now I'm starting to weld the pieces together. So that's what I'm doing. See, these were all welded already, and then I kind of ran out of the Scotch-Brite pad, so I had to stop there. I'll get that later, but now I'm just going to finish welding it up. So there you go, guys. It's pretty close to being straight. I measured it from the edge of the table this way, from there to there to there. So it might be off a little bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. So there you go, guys. There's my pie cuts. They're coming together. So that's going to replace my square bar. My light bar here, we're going to put that in its place, cut that out. So we're going to update the look from the RT2 to the RT3. All right, see you guys in a little bit. All right, I cut off the braces on the tower and my old square tube, so I'm kind of lining this up. What I'm going to do, and what it is did a 4.5 inch cutting wheel, cut that stuff all off. I think I'm going to cut like a little V in here, so that'll sit up in there. And I'll do that on the same side so we can weld it down, and then we'll center it, weld it in place. I think that'll be good. All right, so that's where we are now. That's my little light bar that I just made. So, okay guys, that's where we're at right now on the build.